All right, guys. Thanks for coming to watch. Today we are going to be looking at the apparent divide, but also consensus between, I think you could say, two distinct sections of Canada. The Canadian West right now, if you take away Vancouver, is pretty upset with the results of the federal election. The 2019 Canadian federal election, which the Liberals won 157 seats, but only one west of Winnipeg. So I think if you look at that, just based on its own, based on size of the country, people, it's a little bit disheartening for people out west who think that their issues aren't being heard. But you also have the other side of that, where you have people from this. Okay, well, this article right here, Rabble.ca, written by Rick Salieton. Canadian voters express consensus upon across differences. So he just starts by saying that we did it, and the we wasn't any side; it was Canada as a whole. Elections can sometimes be like that. When a diverse population acts as if it has a single mind to solve a complex problem. The problem, an impressive consensus, about 65%, on basics like climate, was spread across at least 4 parties determined to throttle each other. This can easily result in the other third winning power. In this case, we somehow distributed the votes to reflect the consensus and give it a chance in office. So I think that this is a fair point, that 65% of voters voted for the Liberals, the NDP, the Green, or the Bloc. All 4 of those parties have a well thought out climate plan. Some are more extreme than the others. And as someone who is concerned about climate change and is concerned about the way that the world is going forward, I think that is a good thing. Now, the bad thing is how that has separated the country into two halves. And I think that's very obvious when we start looking at other things. So here's an issue. So this is from Global News, an article titled "With the Liberals' New Minority, Trudeau's Greatest Challenge is Healing the Divide with Western Canada," which it definitely is. There's a handful of videos here. He has made promises, and he's also made some interesting decisions over the last 4 years. So this line right here: the Trudeau government has said action on climate change will be priority, an issue strongly supported by the NDP and the Green Party. But the Trans Mountain Pipeline extension from Alberta to BC could be a minefield when Parliament resumes. This is exactly true. So I think that you'd see a very high percentage of Conservatives that would be in favor of this, especially those from Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, Manitoba. Like a lot of these MPs are going to be very in favor of this. I think that this will go through if it comes up to just a straight vote, but something tells me that it's not going to be that simple. But this also goes back to the original article where Rick is super excited about, how we did it. People that are worried about climate and renewables are kind of going to get a slap in the face by the guy that's running the government. And I normally do not support Trudeau as a general rule. I think he has some good ideas. I think he's a terrible person, but I think he has some good ideas. And they plan to move ahead on the project. So this is a very interesting decision, I would say, to be at the very least. I think the best the best explanation he can give at this moment is that if we don't do something, we will have a divided country for years to come. And I'm not saying that this is helping a whole lot, but I also don't think it's going to hurt him. He says, "We made the decision to move forward on the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion because it was in Canada's interest to do so, because the environment and the economy need to go together." I will agree with him there. I think it's also a little bit of unity here, because if we as Canadians are going to be exporting this oil, we will be bringing in money. Yes, it's not going to be great for the environment, but as he said, and as I think most people have to admit, is that regular vehicles, fossil fuel powered cars, are going to be around for quite a while still. And so to just leave it in the ground at the moment without a huge or better idea on how to transition away from that isn't a great idea. So I think that that's important, but this one here is also a little bit interesting. It kind of goes together with this whole unity versus division versus consensus. So, as we saw in the rabble.ca article, we did it. Well, this is again where it comes to be a little bit weird for me. Trudeau said yesterday, or no, on the 23rd it looks like, there'll be various and varied conversations, but I can tell you that it's not in our plans at all to form any sort of formal coalition, formal or informal coalition. So I guess I understand that, and it also goes down here, back to what I said a few minutes ago, Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion, which is in Canada's best interest, and the NDP oppose him. Again, I don't think that this is it's a unity thing that he wants to do this, but I think it's going to backfire on him at some point down the road. I'm not sure exactly when that is. I feel like that might have already happened in the past when, the whole he's a green guy, but he also bought a pipeline, like that whole meme that was going around for a while. I think that is an issue, but I think it is at this moment in time more important for the government to move forward with the production and completion of the project and work towards a better solution in the future. I'm not saying that oil is evil yet. I don't think that there are not enough incentives today for the federal government to cut off this economic boon. I think that day will come, but I don't think it's here quite yet. But the sooner that day comes, the better. I will say that. So I'm just going to finish this off on this last thought here. Prime Minister says, "We need to recognize that different parts of the country go through different challenges, and making sure we're really listening to them is something that's going to be key for me." I do hope that that's true, although I do doubt that quite a bit. The other focus of this article was basically he promises gender equity in the new cabinet. Yeah, man, that's great. It sounds great. I hope it works out better than last time. Luckily for her, Jody Wilson-Raybould did win re-election as an independent in BC. So I don't know where she's going to stand on a lot of this, but I hope to hear from her again soon. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time and tomorrow, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.